Hello everyone. Today our lesson is about how do we create a query. A query is an object from the database objects. Remember in our previous video we have learned how do we create a new database and how do we import a CSV file into this database. Now what about the query? What do we mean by a query? In the beginning, query means how do we extract and analyze data according to a condition. It's the same concept as a filtration. According to a condition, we extract some records from the whole table. Now, before we know how do we create a query, we need to know what are the conditions that you need to cover in the O-level syllabus. Please pay attention to this text file because it's a very important file. First of all, if we are dealing with a number or date field, if you are asked to get, for example, the marks which are greater than 90, so our condition will be written in a box named criteria. I will explain it later on when we create our query. For now, I just need you to know what are the criteria that you have to cover. If you are asked to bring any marks greater than, so you have to use the symbol which is greater than. Greater than or equal, we write it in this way. We use greater than sign, then equal sign. Less than condition, we use the less than symbol. Less than or equal condition, we use less than or equal symbols. And if I'm telling you I need, all the employees who live in London, so if you wrote equal London in the criteria, or if you wrote London, they are the same. No need to mention equal. But if you are asked does not equal London, the location does not equal London, for example, the not equal sign is less than, greater than. We have another keyword for does not equal, which is excludes. Please remember that the word excludes means does not equal. These are the criteria if you are dealing with a number field. Now, if I'm dealing with a date field, we use the same symbols, but the keywords are, if you are asked to give all the dates later or after, we use the greater than symbol. On or after, on or later, we use greater than or equal. Before, we use less than. On or before, we use less than or equal. And don't forget the word excludes, it means does not equal. Now these are the criteria if I'm dealing with a number or date field. Now if I'm dealing with a text field, the text field, we're going to use something called wildcards. I'm only going to mention two of them, which is star, the same as multiplication operation in the computer, and I'm going to use the question mark. Now what's the difference between them? If I'm asking you to give all the students who begin with the letter A, where the name of the students begin with the letter A, so I'm going to write in the criteria A star. Why did we use the star? Because I don't know how many characters do I have in his or her name, and I don't know what are the characters after the character A. I just know that the beginning is A. That's why I write equal or without equal A star. Now if I want to get the names ends with A, we're going to start with star, then A. I don't know how many characters, what are the characters at the beginning, I just know the last one, which is A. If you are asked to give the student names contain the letter A, contain we use star A star. I don't know if the letter A becomes first character, second, the last, in the middle. I just know that the name contains the letter A. That's why we use star A star. And please don't forget that the word includes, it's the same as contains. If I'm telling you that the student name includes the letter A, then you have to write star A star. It's totally different when I say the location is, for example, London, or the location includes London. If I told you that the location is London, then you write equal London or without equal. But if I told you that the location includes the word London, then you have to write it between two stars. This is the star wildcard. What about the question mark? Well, each question mark represents one character. So if I'm asking you to give me the students' names where the length of the name is 4 characters, I already told you the length. It's 4 characters, then I'm going to use 4 question marks. Each question mark represents one letter. Now, if I gave you another case that the student names, the length of the student names are 4 characters, but the first one is A, the last one is S, then you're going to use A as the first character. I don't know what are these 2 characters, so I'm going to use question marks, and the last one is going to be S. These are the main criteria that you have to know before you create any query. In our next lesson, we're going to mention how do we create a query and what are the keywords in order to create a query and produce the report depending on this query. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.